You know, a lot of people may look on the internet and they may see a lawn that looks like this and they may say, my God, that lawn looks good. Man, I wish I could be able to have a lawn like that. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can be able to take a lawn that looks just like this and transform it to a lawn that looks just like this. And I'm going to show you how to start from scratch with using only store-bought products. Now, I know a lot of people may watch my videos and see me using a bunch of heavy equipment. Heavy equipment as far as mowers, seeders, and even aerators. And yes, these things can be a benefit to your lawn and your body, but you may not be able to have access to any one of those, nor may you be able to get them. So I'm going to show you how to renovate your lawn without using any one of these tools. Now, let me show you this lawn right here. Now take a look at this lawn, you all. This has to be the worst renovation that I've ever done. You see weeds everywhere, overgrown garden beds, crabgrass, poison ivy, Dallas grass, just any type of weed you can think of is in this back lawn. Now I know this is the worst of the worst, but I'm gonna show you that a lawn like this can be renovated. So what I did was I took a trip to Home Depot's tool rental just to pick up a couple of tools that I knew that I was going to need. Number one, I got a tiller because the ground was so hard and I needed to break it up with the tiller. The next thing that I got was a landscaping rake to be able to move that dirt and shape it out. The next thing I got was a lawn roller to compact that soft dirt down, and I got a couple of bags of peat moss just to cover up the seed, just for a security blanket. Now, the first thing that I needed to do was I needed to get rid of these weeds. So I went ahead and hit it with some holy water, waited 2 weeks. Then I came back and this is what the lawn looked like. As you can see, all of the weeds are dead. Now we have an even playing field for me to go ahead and get started on renovating the lawn. So the next thing that I went ahead and did was I picked up all the loose sticks, bricks, and rocks that my eyes can see so that I can go ahead and start the next process, which was weed eating all of those weeds down. Now, after I got all those weeds weed eated, I raked everything over to the side, put everything in bags so that I can go ahead and get started with the next process. Now, the next thing that I used was a tiller. Now, the whole purpose of me using this was because the ground was as solid as a rock, and I wanted to loosen up the first couple of inches of the soil. Now, if your ground isn't hard, you don't have to use a tiller, but in this situation, ground was hard, needed to loosen up a little bit, so I went ahead and rented the tiller and loosened up everything. The next thing that I used was a landscaping rake. Now, the landscaping rake allowed me to be able to move the tilled up dirt and try to make the lawn as flat as possible. The reason why I wanted it flat was to prevent the lawn from having any slopes or any holes or any dips. If we get any hard rains, if you have any seed on those slopes, they can potentially get washed out, or if you have any dips, you can have some puddling in your lawn. The next thing that I used was a lawn roller. Now, the whole purpose of this was to press all of that loose dirt in and to try to get everything as smooth as possible with the roller. Now, the next thing is most important is the seed. Now, this is Columbia seed. It's a shady mix, turf type tall fescue, and it doesn't have any weeds in it at all. Now, when I use this seed, I used a Scott's Whiz to go ahead and spread this seed on this lawn. Now, on the Scott's Whiz, it has some numbers on the front of it, which is going to indicate how fast you want the seed to come out. I had mine set at number 5, and I went down with 9 pounds per thousand on this lawn. Now, since this lawn is so small, I went ahead and weaseled everything in just to blend the seed in with the soil. Now, since this is a bare dirt renovation and this lawn is less than 600 square feet, I went ahead and used a peat moss just to cover up the seed. Now you don't have to use a peat moss. You can use a clean compost, or you can just leave it exactly how it is. But for me to have that extra security blanket, I went ahead and used the peat moss to cover the seed up. Now, if you are going to use something, just make sure that you're not putting down a very thick layer. You only want a thin layer just to cover up the seed. Now, if this lawn was bigger, or if it already had grass in it and I was just overseeding it just to thicken up the lawn, I wouldn't use any peat moss at all. I would just roll that seed in and then be done with it. And the last thing that I did was I just purchased a sprinkler to be able to water the lawn. Now I'm using a above ground irrigation where I have the sprinkler, the water hose, and a timer. Now I have an orbit timer and I have it set for every 6 hours, and it's going to water the lawn for 10 minutes every cycle. Because the main thing that I want to do is I want to keep the seed moist. And that about wraps everything up. I hope that this video was helpful to you all. Now make sure that you tune in so I can show you exactly what this lawn looks like when the seed germinates. Thank you all for watching. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll see y'all in the next one.